The truth behind the Monami name is Elena Michaels, and I am 32 years old. I've always believed that honesty and kindness were the foundation of any good relationship. But sometimes, life teaches you that even the people closest to you can hide secrets that change everything. I live in a quiet neighborhood in Georgia with my husband Marcus. We've been married for 6 years. Marcus is a software engineer, thoughtful and gentle, always making me laugh with his terrible dad jokes even before we had our daughter. My father, Richard Hayes, is a successful real estate investor. He's 65 now, silver-haired and distinguished, the kind of man who commands respect when he walks into a room. Growing up, I was Daddy's little girl. My mother passed away when I was 15, and after that, it was just Dad and me against the world. He worked hard to give me everything, put me through college, and even helped Marcus and me buy our first home. I thought I knew everything about him. Then our daughter, Maya, was born 3 months ago. The delivery was difficult. 22 hours of labor that left me exhausted, but filled with a love I'd never known existed. When I finally held Maya in my arms, her tiny fingers wrapped around mine, I felt complete. Marcus cried. I cried. Everything felt perfect. 2 weeks after we brought Maya home, Dad came to visit. He held her so carefully, tears streaming down his weathered face as he looked at his granddaughter. I made tea while he sat with her, and when I returned, he seemed troubled. Elena, honey, he said, clearing his throat. I want to set up a trust fund for Maya. $4,000 a month. I nearly dropped my teacup. Dad, that's $48,000 a year. That's incredibly generous. But it's already done. He interrupted, not meeting my eyes. The papers are signed. The money starts next month. Something in his voice made my heart skip. Dad, why? I mean, we're grateful, but that's a fortune. Is everything okay? He looked at me then, really looked at me, and I saw something I'd never seen before in my father's eyes. Guilt. Honey, are the $4,000 a month not enough for you? He asked quietly. The question hung in the air like a thundercloud. I felt Marcus tense beside me on the sofa. My mouth went dry. What? Money, Dad? I whispered. His face went pale. What money? He echoed, his voice hollow. The silence that followed was deafening. I watched as understanding dawned on my father's face, followed by anger, so intense it seemed to age him 10 years in seconds. His hands started shaking. Marcus had frozen completely. My mother-in-law, Patricia, who had been visiting to help with the baby, suddenly found something very interesting to look at on the floor. Marcus, my father said, his voice dropping to a dangerous calm. Where is the money I've been sending Elena every month for the past 6 years? 6 years. The exact length of our marriage. Marcus's face had gone grey. Richard, I can explain. $4,000 every single month. For 6 years. Dad's voice was shaking now. That's the $188,000, Marcus. Where is it? I couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. You've been sending me money? I looked at Marcus, pleading silently for this to be some kind of misunderstanding. Marcus, what is he talking about? Marcus opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. No words came out. I'd never seen him look so trapped, so guilty. Oh God, Patricia whispered, and when I looked at her, she couldn't meet my eyes either. That's when I knew. She had known. His mother had known. How could you? The words came out barely. Above a whisper, I was clutching Maya to my chest. My baby daughter who had no idea her father was a liar, her grandmother a conspirator. The truth came out slowly, painfully, over the next hours. Marcus's mother had been intercepting the bank transfers, moving the money to a separate account Marcus controlled. $4,000 a month. Money my father had been sending to help us, to help me, to make sure his daughter was taken care of after losing my mother. Money I never saw. Money that could have changed our lives. I wanted to tell you, Marcus finally said, his voice breaking. At first, Mom said it was just pride. She said we didn't need charity, that it would make me look weak. Then time passed, and I didn't know how to admit what we'd done. The money went to pay off Mom's debts, some investments that went bad. Get out, I said quietly. Elena, please get out. My voice was stronger now, edged with ice I didn't know I possessed. Both of you. Now, they left. The door closed behind them with a soft click that sounded like the end of everything I thought I knew. Dad stayed with me that night, holding Maya while I cried. He didn't say, I told you so. Didn't rage against Marcus, though I could see the anger burning in his eyes. He just held his granddaughter and let me grieve. The next weeks were dark. Marcus called constantly, sent flowers, showed up at the house begging to explain. His mother wrote me a letter, full of excuses about difficult times and poor decisions. I didn't respond to either of them, but I also thought. I thought about revenge, about making them pay, about taking Marcus for everything he had in a divorce. I thought about exposing Patricia's financial manipulations to everyone we knew. The anger burned hot and righteous in my chest. Then one night, feeding Maya at 3 in the morning, something shifted. My daughter looked up at me with those innocent eyes, and I realized something. The best revenge wasn't destruction. It was building something better. I called a lawyer the next day. Not for revenge, but for protection. I filed for legal separation and opened an investigation into the missing funds. The money was mostly gone, spent on Patricia's failed business ventures and Marcus's attempts to day trade his way to wealth. But what could be recovered would be, more importantly, I filed for full custody with supervised visitation for Marcus. He fought it at first, until the evidence of financial abuse and deception made it clear no judge would side with him. Dad set up the trust fund properly this time, with ironclad protections. But he also did something else. He sat me down and said, "Elena, I failed you. I should have called you directly about the money. I should have made sure you knew." "I'm sorry, Dad. You didn't know. I should have asked more questions. Should have verified. I trusted Marcus because you loved him, and that's on me too." We both cried then, healing something between us that had cracked without either of us realizing it. 3 months later, I stand in my kitchen making breakfast while Maya coos in her bouncer. The divorce is progressing. Marcus sees his daughter once a week under supervision, and surprisingly, he's actually shown up consistently. Patricia wrote me another letter. This one without excuses, just a simple apology. I haven't responded yet. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I'm learning that betrayal, as much as it hurts, also teaches you about resilience, about the people who truly love you versus those who just claim to, about the difference between revenge and justice, between anger and healing. Dad visits every Sunday. He brings groceries, holds Maya, and we talk about everything and nothing, sometimes about MOM, sometimes about the future. He's teaching me about his business, talking about making me a partner one day. For Maya's future, he says, but we both know it's for mine too. The money sits in trust now, safe and protected. But more than that, I have something worth far more: clarity. I know who I can trust. I know my own strength. And I know that love, real love, doesn't hide or deceive or manipulate. It shows up. It's honest. It protects. And it's worth so much more than $4,000 a month. As I watch the sunrise through my kitchen window, Maya beginning to fuss for her morning bottle, I realize something else. I'm not just surviving this betrayal. I'm learning from it, growing from it, and maybe someday that will be the greatest victory of all.